What if, one ordinary morning, the world woke up to news that an asteroid the size of a city was heading straight for Earth? This question comes from Adam, who said, "When I always look at the sky at night, I always start to think what happens if the moon gets closer and closer and finally hits the Earth." Let's see what would happen if an asteroid, not a moon, hits the Earth. Because if the moon hits, that would be the end of the day. The first reports would sound unreal. Anchors on every channel reading the same lines, trying to sound calm. Across the world, phones would light up, group chats would explode, and everyone would suddenly feel like the future just got closer than it should be. Scientists would run simulations. Space agencies would argue over the best plan. Rockets wouldn't be built in months. They'd be built in days. Nobody would be thinking about competition anymore. Countries that once disagreed on everything would be forced to work like a single team. Not because they want to, but because they have to. Schools would still open. Streets would still have traffic. People would still stand in line for morning coffee. But everything ordinary would feel different. Like the world was holding its breath. Like every routine suddenly had a question behind it. How long do we have? And as the asteroid got closer, something surprising would happen. The fear wouldn't grow louder, and the silence would. Streets would get quieter. People would start watching the sky more than their screens. Not waiting for the end, but waiting to see what humanity would do next. Because the story wouldn't be about an asteroid crashing into Earth, the real story would be about people deciding they weren't ready to give up. It wouldn't be about hopelessness, it would be about preparation, courage, invention. And the moment the world finally understood how strong it can be when everyone is focused on the same goal. A rock from space wouldn't define humanity. How we respond to it would.